I've been meaning to make this video for a while because, you know, Second Perception was a huge part of my life, and just never really got around to it. And I'm actually going to turn off my YouTube personality for a minute because, like, oh my gosh, it's just exhausting. I don't feel like this is that, you know, that kind of story. But here we go. People that knew Second Perception probably know that we were like all over the place, and then we were just like gone, and then it like magically morphed into Echo Boy, which most people know me from now that knew me back then. So, you know, it's a question I get asked a lot is, you know, what happened to Second Perception? Where did you guys go? Because it's like you signed that deal and then, you know, we didn't really hear much from you. And, you know, I figured I'd give a little bit of an insight into what happened. You know, just with everything, I think it could be good. So, Second Perception was a Christian rock band that I started with a couple other dudes in 2011. The initial idea was like November of 2010. That's when we decided to start it. And, you know, I had been playing in metal bands for like 4 years, and it was fun, but like it just wasn't my thing. It wasn't my, you know, it wasn't really my strength. Like I was kind of into this, always into the like melodic side of it, like a lot of singing, and so the music wasn't really metal, and it just never really took. But I was heavily involved in church culture. I mean, I was raised in Christianity and raised in church culture, and I you know, was a member at, I think it was Graceland at the time, and I had a ton of like Christian friends that listen to Christian music, and I made a bunch of Christian friends at Graceland, and we all decided to start a band called Second Perception. And you know, we kind of went all out. We did a music video, we released a CD, we played some really big shows, and it was, you know, one of the first times in my life that like things really started to work. I was 21. I had just turned 21, I think, when we started that band. And yeah, it was the first like success in my life that I really had up until that point, because, you know, I didn't really know much of who I was. I knew I wanted to play music, but you know, that's all here and there. But we released a music video, and it was, you know, for a song I recorded. I was recording an EP that was for me because I was about to graduate college at IUS, and it was just a 5-song like worship thing with 2 or 3 original songs that I wrote on there, and they weren't really worship. It was kind of like original Christian rock band stuff. And I approached the guys that I knew, and we decided, yeah, let's turn this into a band. So for the best song, it was called Heaven, and we made that into a music video. It was the first time I'd ever really done anything with a camera, and it ended up being like really good. Like still to this day, it's unusually good for like me never editing anything before. And I think that actually came from like, I would watch movies all the time in high school because I didn't have a lot of friends. So like I literally knew kind of how editing and shots should be established subconsciously, even though I'd never done it before. So that being said, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of Second Perception. It went all the way up, and, you know, we opened up for Sidewalk Prophets. We released a CD at our CD release show, which is like our local CD release show, all original music, an all original music band. We had 350 people there. Like, that's crazy for like a Christian band. Like most secular bands that have a much larger pool of an audience, you know, don't have that amount. If that kind of lets you know where we were at the time. It was 5 or 6 dudes that were like best friends, and we just started a band, and everybody loved the community of it, and it became like a big family. But, you know, this video is about what happened. So let's kind of go back. So, you know, it's 6 best friends in a band, but like 6 very flawed best friends in a band. Me taking the blame is probably one of the most flawed. And that's kind of where things really started to turn. So like you know, there's a lot of things I could explain with, you know, pre-Second Perception of why, you know, I'm the way I am. But I'd always been like, struggled with depression, had that like hardcore. But it had never turned into like a suicidal thing. And that stuff, it didn't really creep in 2013, but I was in this relationship, and it was kind of a roller coaster ride for us and everyone involved, and the whole church. It is just a nightmare. So that was absolutely insane. I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of things that I should not have done, or I should have done better, or could have waited. And it was just kind of a nightmare. So that was 2013, and then that whole thing kind of ended, and 2014 comes along, and I start to really hit like this spout of like suicidal thoughts that come in. It's the first time I'd ever dealt with that before. And I'm not going to get way too into it, because this is more about the band breaking up. This isn't me. But long story short, I absolutely had a lot of help in the band. I had a partner, and he did so much for booking and everything. But for me, I was kind of the lead guy, the decision maker, who we're going to record with. All the creative decisions kind of came mostly through me. And so when my head was not right, we started to really tank. And like a couple of members left, and we brought some people in, and it did not work out, and it was just crazy. And this is 2014. And then we got this... Well, we got a contact for a guy that we thought could help us, and I'm not going to mention the name or anything. I mean, I could, but but it's kind of one of those things. I'm just like, let's just let it be. So we signed a deal in June of 2014, and then I decided to move to where the record place was. That coming, I think it was like January 1st or 7th, I was down there. I don't remember which one it was, but I moved to Atlanta. And, like I said, with everything that was going on, my head wasn't right. I was making all these kind of crazy decisions. And we had told everybody that we signed a record deal. Everyone was really excited. But what people know is nothing ever came about that, because when we signed it, we were told, don't really do anything, just wait till you get down here and wait till we do stuff, which is absolutely unheard of in the sense of like, quit promoting yourself and wait till you get down here so we can change everything. That's just totally unheard of in the professional world of recording and the recording industry. So that was really weird. So that happened, but I was not in a super great place. So I was like, yeah, let's just do that. I just wanted to get out of Indiana because things were not going well. The band wasn't going well. I was suicidal. I was devastated over this relationship. So I moved to Atlanta, and people know me as a go-getter. Like, I kind of just say I'm going to do something, and then bam, 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 bam. It's done, and it's done times like 600%. So saying that, I went down there to do a lot of stuff, but that energy that I was putting off as far as doing all these things and trying to get things done so we get things, that wasn't met. That's how I'll say that. That wasn't met necessarily, and the rest of the band moved down, I guess in June, and then that lasted for like a month, and then we were like, okay, we should probably, we need to figure out an avenue. We need to figure out what to do, because this deal it's not really, working out. So we moved back in about, what was it, August? I think it was like August 7th or something of 2015. So I had been there for about 8 months, and the rest of the band had been there for 2 months. It was just kind of a big nightmare. When I tell people, this is what really killed Second Perception, was when we moved back. We had friends in Atlanta. We had a good kind of base in Atlanta, good people we were getting to know, and you can't change the past, but what I tell people is probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made is when I moved to Atlanta and then I moved back. When I moved back, that was like, I've met a lot of great people, I've done a lot of great things up here, but ultimately it was just a very not good decision in the long run because there's so much just crazy crap that's happened from 2015 to 18. That just makes, you know, everything before that was really bad seem like Disneyland. So, you know, but we came back here and essentially it was just me and the guitar player. And we tried to restart it really hard. I think we scheduled like a release, a CD. No, it was we scheduled a comeback show and then we had like member issues and then, yeah, it was really weird. We just ended up changing members like 5 or 6 times. Like it just did not work anymore. Like whatever Second Perception was in 2011, the glue that made it come together, that was not a thing anymore. It just wasn't going to happen. So we decided, I guess about February, that, you know, Josh and I decided, okay, that we're gonna kind of do this other thing and join forces with this other group. And, you know, that's kind of what happened. It just kind of slowly died. And it's like our last show was a concert call. It was No Hope. It was 2016, spring of 2016, early spring. And yeah, it was really weird because all of the people who had like all the people who'd listened to Second Perception since we started, like, weren't there. Like it was all kind of new people. And it says something to me about like, I don't know if it's just Christian music or Christian culture, but like these people just that felt like family. It's like they weren't there anymore. It was a totally different thing, and it was just really weird. So, yeah, I went through a lot of crazy stuff. So, some of the people who've watched this have seen my movie. You guys were at the premiere. You'll notice that the movie follows a strange pattern to that because Rock for Jesus is pretty much a story about a lot of that. And yeah, it was just kind of that itch I got after Second Perception didn't work anymore. I was like, this sucks. And we tried to do another thing. We did Echo Boy, and I really had all the intentions to make that thing a huge thing. But at that point, it just wasn't in me anymore. You know, I'd done this thing for 4 or 5 years, and I really wanted to make the movie, and I wanted to tell my story. It's, you know, it's weird telling this story without interjecting a lot of my emotional and personal and everything, into the story, because it's so much of it is based off of like the misdirections that I chose. But basically that's what happened to Second Perception. The singer went crazy and couldn't maintain a group or lead a group anymore, and tried to make the best decisions he could, and it just didn't end up happening. And then I made a movie. But surprisingly, this year, 2018, here we are. It's weird, and I guess it's a testament to how bad things were, because this year has been pretty intense, but it's actually been one of the best years I've had in a long time. So I've got a new band going. Mark Maxwell is going to manage us. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that are, you know, happening. My movie just got a deal, so that's cool. So it'll be out to you guys soon. But yeah, there's a lot of good things coming, and we're just going to see what happens. But yeah, that's what happened in Second Perception. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope it makes sense and it wasn't too rambly. I tried to turn off the YouTube personality. So that's it. Thanks, guys.